Welcome everyone to the Pipefy for Project Management webinar. On today's webinar, we'll talk about how even though Pipefy is not a project management platform, we're a process management platform, you can adapt our structure and use it to manage your team's processes to keep all your company data centralized and stored in a single platform. Our presentation today will be divided into two parts. First, we'll go over the structure of our pipes and the features we're going to use. Then I'll show you guys how it all works inside Pipefy. You're probably thinking, isn't Pipefy a process management tool? Why are you even talking about managing projects? You're not entirely wrong. Pipefy is not a project management tool. So because of that, we have some limitations. We don't offer some of the typical project management tools, such as Gantt chart or time tracking, even though we're already working on an app that's going to do that. Pipefy's flexible structure and advanced features, however, enable us to create a dynamic structure to manage projects inside of our platform. We've based this basic structure in the way some of our users manage their projects in Pipefy. We understand that projects are unique and this specific structure may not be 100% compatible with your project's need. Bear in mind, though, that you can easily customize everything I'm going to show you to suit your own project's need. Our sample structure is pretty simple, as you can see here on the screen. We have three databases: company, contact, and projects, that help us keep track of all our projects and tasks by connecting them to the database record. We also have two pipes: our main pipe, the projects pipe, where we log all our projects for a high-level overview, and create the tasks in the tasks pipe, where we manage all tasks related to the project. Some users prefer creating individual pipes for each project. While that can also be done if that's how you feel you're going to be able to manage your projects more effectively, we strongly recommend using our suggested structure. If you need to limit access to the projects or tasks data, you can also use a permission called restricted view in your pipe, so that each team member will view only the cards they have created or they were assigned to them. We've used some of Pipefy's advanced features to make our project management structure more dynamic and productive. Some of these features are connections, autofill, automation, email templates, and report. We've used connections and connection fields to create tasks connected to the project cards and also to the company and project records. We've also used a couple of connection fields to connect our project to the company and contact for easy information tracking. Autofill is a feature that enables us to autofill fields when creating a connection. So we're going to use it to fill some of the fields automatically when creating project records and tasks related to the projects by using a connection from the project pipe. So whenever we're going to hit the button to create a new task, we're not going to need to fill in all the fields in the form because some of them are going to come auto-filled. We've created a couple of simple automation just to move the cards according to the progress of the task. So the first automation we've used moves the project card from tasks to doing when one of the connected tasks is moved to doing. So whenever we start working in one of our project's tasks, the project card is also going to be moved to doing. So you can easily keep track of which of your projects are already active and which of them are still waiting to be worked on. And then after all tasks are done, so when all connected cards are done, we're going to automatically move the project card to the next phase in our project pipe, making it easier for us to keep track of what's going on in both pipes without having to access both of them. We've also created a manual email template to send the project files to be approved by the customer. So we've created this email template in a specific approval phase we have in our pipe so that you can send it to your customer, whether it's an internal or external customer, for him or her to approve. We've also created a few reports to help us keep track of the progress of our projects and tasks. So some of them are how many projects are active, so how many of them have active tasks, the total of projects by type, so we have a category of project types to make it easier for us to keep track of how many projects of each type we're currently managing, the tasks that are currently being executed, and tasks segmented per team member or squad. Alright, as I mentioned to you guys, we have two pipes here, the projects and the team tasks, and we're going to start by accessing the projects pipe. Our projects pipe has these phases. So the backlog phase, where all new cards are stored, meeting, tasks, doing, on hold, approval, reviewing, and done. We'll begin our demonstration by creating a new project card. So to do that, we're going to click here in the lower right corner to create a new card. First, we'll give our project a name. So then we're going to select a company from our records here. So I'm going to go ahead and select Pipefy. And from within the company, we're going to select a contact. I'm going to select myself. So here it goes. The reason why we have two separate databases is that because it may happen that you have more than one project with a single company, and it may be running different areas, departments, and consequently with different contacts. So since we're going to use the contact info to send the approval email, we enable you to create different contacts that are linked to the company. So you can see here, company Pipefy. This is a connection within this database record. So this contact is connected to this company. Then we're going to select the project type. So it's going to be a movie, our suggested deadline, and we hit create new card. The reason why we have this project type field is because we're going to use it to filter our projects by type in our reports. These types we have here are merely an example because we've based our project management pipe on a customer structure that uses Pipefy to manage marketing projects. This is the card we've just created. It's in the backlog phase. In the backlog phase, we have a few mandatory fields. So first, we're gonna add the project owner. It's gonna be Chewy. And then after we do that, we're gonna go ahead and click here on add new record because we're gonna create a database record for our project. So I wanna create a new record. I'm gonna click on add new. And you guys can see that some of the data, actually all of it, so project name, project ID, project owner, company, and contact comes auto-filled. To do that, we've set up the connection here. So we click on the three dots and edit this field. And when you have a connection field, you have these advanced options here. So show advanced rules. And one of them is that autofill enables you to fill out fields automatically. So we click here and see. So we autofill the project name with the field project's title, project owner with project owner, company, and contact. We hit save here and it's autofill. We're gonna just add the value here and a priority. Once we're finished with this phase, we're gonna move it to meeting. We've created the meeting phase because most projects have a phase in which you interact more closely with the customer to get more details about the activities, what needs to be done. And so here we're gonna add further detail about the project, describe the meeting's details, if the meeting was in person, if it was an email exchange, and then add more information about the customer's expectations. I'm gonna just skip this part here and move right on to tasks. The tasks phase is where we're gonna create all the tasks related to this project. This phase here, we're gonna go ahead and click on tasks. This is a connection, so it's displayed in this part of the card. And once we hit new here, we're gonna open the form to this pipe where we can create the tasks. So task 1, and some of the data, such as the assignee, the company, and the project come auto-filled as well. We've created the task here, and I'm going to show you guys the settings of this connection because it has a specific setting. So here in the advanced options, we've selected this option here that specifies that all connected cards must be finished before the parent card can be done. What this option does is that whenever we create tasks related to this specific card, we cannot finish the parent card, so the project card, before all the tasks are done. And then we also set up the autofill to autofill that information. So here with project owner, company, and project record. So now that we created a task here, we're gonna move on to the tasks pipe, where we're gonna take a look at its structure and also explore the automations we've created. Our tasks pipe is really simple. It only has 3 phases, so inbox, doing, and done. Inbox is the phase where all new tasks await before you move them to doing and start working on them. This movement, so moving from inbox to doing, is what triggers the first automation rule we've created. So I'm going to go right ahead and move task 1, which we've created, to doing. You can see here that we have task project 1. So when we open the task, you can see that this card is connected to task project 1. And when you click on it, you can easily see all the details from the parent card. You can access all the information that was added in all the fields the parent card went through. So I'm going to show you guys the first automation rule we've created that triggers when we just move the card from inbox to doing, it's going to move the parent card to doing as well. So we know that it's active. To access the automation, we clicked here on apps and integrations, then on automation. So the first automation is this one. We've established then when a card is moved, so in pipe team tasks to phase doing, we want to move the parent card in pipe projects to the phase doing as well. We're going to go back here and we can see that our card that was in tasks has automatically been moved to doing. We can open it here, and when we do, we can see that Pipebot, which is our automation robot, has moved from tasks to doing. We can also see here on the left side of the card that we have a different view. It displays tasks on top here. This is a customization you can do by clicking a button right here. So you can customize the left side view of the card. So if you have attachments, checklists, comments, you can display all of that on the left side of the card. I chose to display tasks here on top because if we have other projects that have more tasks, such as, let me check this one. So Visa here has 4 tasks in the inbox phase of our tasks process and one being executed right now. So one in doing. This displaying the tasks here on the left side make it easier for us to keep close track of all the tasks progress without having to access the actual pipe. And then when we move this task to done, but before we do that, remember how I mentioned to you guys that we don't have a native time tracking tool? So we need to manually add here how many minutes were spent on this task and then move it to done. When we do this, it triggers our second automation. What the second automation does is that when all connected cards, so when all the tasks cards are moved to a specific phase, in this case they're moved to done, we're going to move the parent card in pipe projects to the phase approval. So with this automation, we assume that once all tasks are done, the project is also ready to be sent for the customer's approval. So we move back here and you guys can see that our card is no longer here. It has been moved to approval, Pipebot as well. So Pipebot moved it from doing to approval. In the approval phase, we have 2 important things. Since we don't have in-app time tracking yet, you can use this report here. You can see that there's a URL. This is the URL to access a specific report we've created. You can use this report to keep track of all the minutes spent on this project. We do that by filtering this report by project. So here we want to project contain. You can see here and then we click here. So it's going to display the minutes spent on this specific project. So it's 45 minutes. Let's suppose we wanted to check other projects that have more tasks. So this is SpaceX and it has, what this feature does is that it sums all the minutes spent on this task. I'm going to remove that and save the report. So we only spent 45 minutes. And we also have this field here to attach the files for the customer's approval. So I'm going to open this card here in which we have already attached a file. And then we're going to click here on email template to send the email for the customer's approval. So we click on here and it's automatically sent. I'm going to show you guys the email template we've created. So we click here on the gear icon and then on email templates and we can see our template here. These values that are shown with phase field are dynamic content. So this is the name of the project. This is the name of the content the contact, and this is the URL for them to download the project's file. Generating dynamic content is really easy. We just click here, and let's suppose we want to use the customer's email from inside the database record. A couple of weeks ago, that wasn't possible yet, but we had an update that now we can use all fields from inside the records, also from inside the connection field, as dynamic content. So let's suppose I want to use the customer's email, which I'm going to use when I set up the email in the approval phase. So I select here phase start form. And when I select the property, you guys can see that we have these are fields and fields as well, but these are groups. So what these groups are connection fields. So inside the company, we have the field company and the field company name. And inside contact, we have contact name, email, phone number, and company. Let's suppose we selected the email here. You just have to copy and paste it on a phase. Email templates have to be created and set up in a phase. So now that we've created this email template, we're going to access the approval phase and see how we set it up. So to set up an email template, we roll the screen all the way down, click on the email templates option, and click on it to edit it. What we did here was select customer approval. The name of the sender, we've established that it's the name of the card's assignee, so it's the person in charge of the project. So each project is going to have a different name here depending on the person it's assigned to. This information we use here, the card email, makes it possible for that when the person replies to this email, it's going to be stored directly inside the card. We're going to use a feature called email messaging, so that I'm going to send the email template to the person, and when they hit reply, it's going to be sent straight to this card's unique email, and it's going to be logged inside the project card. And then this to email is the dynamic content we've generated, is the email from inside the customer's database. Last but not least, we have our reports, which I mentioned to you guys before. In the project pipe, since it's already a high-level overview, we've used the reports to segment by project type. So this value here is the project value, which we added in the backlog phase. You can choose to display how many cards are in this category or the total value of the project. Let's open this option here. And what we did was filter here by project type. So project type is movie. And then we selected all the information we want to display here. So we want to know the current phase, when it was created, project title, company, and contact. We can reorder by phase or by when it was created, by pretty much any of the aspects we want to. We could also use this reports feature to filter by phase the projects are currently in, which we did to our active projects here. So in this case, we're going to select current phase is doing, but we could go ahead and do this. Inside of do this filter, we can do a more complex one and say that first time enter doing has any value. So it has entered the doing phase, and we move up here to say that the current phase is not on hold, and it's also not done, and it's also not archived. So this way we are filtering only the projects that have entered the doing phase at some specific point, but they're not on hold, done, or archived yet. In the tasks pipe, we have a few reports as well. We have the time spent per task, which I already showed you guys, and we've segmented the tasks by assignee, so by project owner. We did that by simply saying that assignee is Jabba the Hutt, and then we can see all the tasks he's assigned to. There's actually no limit to what you can do using the reports, because you can choose to display all the fields in all the phases of your pipe, and you can filter here by many different aspects. So you can filter by phase, by label, by due date, by creator. You can filter by the task title, by the company. So if I only want to see the companies, the tasks related to Accenture, I can come right here and filter it. I can also click here to export this information, so I can either download it or email it to myself, so we can work with the data in more depth if we feel like it. We can also come right here and say minutes spent on this task, and it's gonna display how many minutes Java has spent on these tasks. Or if I remove this, I can see how many minutes in an overall he has spent on this tasks. I can come here and say I only want to see the cards that were created during the current month, or finished during the current month. I can use these filters to explore the data in the ways we feel best. To wrap things up, I'm going to show you guys the database, the project database I mentioned, because it makes it a lot easier for us to keep track of all the information that's related to a specific project in a single place. So here I have a list of all our projects. Let me see, I'm gonna open this project here, the NASA project. And when I open it, I can see the project name, project ID, project owner, the company, the contact, when it was created, when it was last updated, and we also have the related cards here. So all the cards related to this project that are in the team task pipe, we can see when they were created and which phase they're currently in, and also the projects related to this specific project card. Thanks again, everyone, for joining today's webinar. If you have any question or specific use cases, feel free to reach out to me via the in-app chat in your Pipefy dashboard, or my email, which is there on the screen. Once again, thanks for joining, and I hope to see you all in our next webinars.